I was wanting to come on here yesterday, but I didn't have time to do that. So I'm here right now, folks. It is Tuesday. It is 3:30. I just got off of work. I got to go back there in an hour and a half. So I figured I would take the time to come on here for 10 minutes and say what needs to be said. No introduction. And I haven't even had an intro for a while. If you go back to my previous videos, I used to actually have an intro on the show. I'm just saying what needs to be said, folks. I'm saying what needs to be said. I know what I'm saying isn't any different from what the majority is saying. But I needed to come on here and air it out. The Mitch Trubisky experiment needs to be over. It needs to be over. I don't care what you say. If you're someone that thinks, well, give him a couple more games, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change within 2 games, 3 games. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's not all of his fault either. But you brought Mitch Trubisky in here to be given an opportunity, a second chance as a starter in the league. You look at his track record. He made the playoffs 2 years out of 4 in Chicago. He had bad personnel there. He had bad coaching. He didn't have a lot to work with offensively. He had a pretty strong defense for a handful of time there. Goes to be a backup in Buffalo for a year, and he comes here. We know the Steelers didn't have much options to choose from after the retirement of the legend, the Hall of Famer, Ben Roethlisberger. So they bring in a guy like Trubisky who's going to compete, who has somewhat of a track record, who they think can come in and hopefully take advantage of the opportunity in front of him. The guy's got talent endlessly on offense. He's got talent endlessly on defense. They draft Kenny Pickett. So they give Mitch Trubisky the opportunity. This isn't a guy like Kurt Warner coming in here like he did with the Cardinals in 2007 or whatever year it was, and who needed another chance. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. This isn't that. This is a guy who was a backup last year. This is a guy who a lot of Chicago Bear fans just were not too fond of. And in his 6th season, still having mechanic issues as a quarterback, still having issues he's had since Chicago, and just hasn't figured it out. This isn't me trying to crap on Mitch Trubisky, folks. Mitch Trubisky, who knows? For all we know, maybe something would change Thursday night, and he would look great. I doubt it. But until otherwise, my opinion stands. And I don't even think it's an opinion. The Mitch Trubisky experiment needs to be over. I said since week 1 that Kenny Pickett should be the starter week 1. I said before week 1 he should have been. You know why? Because if you draft a guy in the first round who's playing just as good or even better than the guy ahead of him, that's the guy you roll with. That's your future. But they start a guy like Mitch Trubisky who didn't blow anybody out of the water preseason. Who I said, I was like, look, he is what he is. You're going to lose games with him. You're going to win games with him. But the opportunity's there for somewhat success, for a second chance because of what he has. We know he's not a guy that's going to lead you to victory. He needs help around him to do that. But he hasn't taken advantage of that. They've scored 2 touchdowns in 2 games. He has a little bit over 300 passing yards combined in 2 games. That's dreadful. When you watch Mitch play, I don't know how many times this guy whiffs on open wide receivers. I don't know what to tell you. George Pickens, my God, I don't know how many times this guy's open. He doesn't throw his way. The amount of times that a guy like Chase Claypool's open past the first down, past the chains, I don't know how many times that is. Mitch reads one guy on offense. If he's not open, he panics. He doesn't know what to do. You look at Sunday's game, the offensive line gave up 1 sack. It's going to say probably 3 on the stat sheet because of Mitch's fault. He rolls out. He could throw the ball away, and he doesn't, and he gets sacked. Ramon Foster was going off on him for it. The offensive line has been giving him time to throw. The offensive line hasn't been giving up really a lot of pressure. He's only been sacked 2 times. That's been on the O-line. James Daniels hasn't given up any pressures this year. Okorafor has been ranked as one of the top tackles so far in week 2. Mason Cole has kind of held his own. The left side of the field isn't as strong as the right, but these guys are still doing enough. So what's the problem? Mitch Trubisky is not seeing the field well. Mitch Trubisky, and again, it's not all his fault, and I'll get to that point on the other side of the spectrum. But Mitch Trubisky isn't doing anything here to elevate the offense. Good quarterback play will also overcome bad play calling. I'm sorry. It will. Yep, I just hit my desk with my thigh. Don't care. Don't care. If the Steelers lose Thursday night, what happens? It's going to be pretty damn ugly. If this offense comes out in the same exact mindset, the same shit that we saw Sunday, what's going to happen? It's time the Steelers take a stand. It's time they do something they haven't done. Because this offense that they have, the state of the team they have, this would work in 2006. It doesn't work now. It's a passing offense. It's a league that pushes the ball down the field, and the Steelers haven't done that for 3 freaking years, man. People can say, well, Kenny Pickett coming in isn't going to do much different because of the play calling. You might be right. The play calling will be a hindrance. But at the end of the day, this is your future here. At the end of the day, how much different is Kenny Pickett going to be from Mitch Trubisky right now? At least Kenny Pickett will scan a field. At least Kenny Pickett's pretty calm in the pocket. At least the middle of the field throwing was a strong suit for Kenny Pickett in college. At least Kenny Pickett doesn't read one receiver. Kenny Pickett's got the tools. We know this. He's got the tools to be a good quarterback. But at least right now, with the current state of the offense, with the issues with the coordinator, which I'll get into, like I said, in a minute, Kenny Pickett at least can give you something different in some way. Because he's not going to have those mechanical issues Mitch has. He's not going to throw off his back foot like Trubisky does. Trubisky's in his 6th year and still isn't polished. Still can't get anything figured out. I don't care what anybody says. He has enough time in the pocket to throw. He whiffs on wide receivers that are open. He panics when his first read isn't there. On the other side of the spectrum, Matt Canada. This guy should have been canned last year. Yet the Steelers bring him back. Hold on. My God, this freaking camera pisses me off. You guys have to sit here for a minute. Wait, there we go. Matt Canada should have been canned last year. Matt Canada is a big issue for this offense. That's why it's not all Mitch Trubisky, but he has a lot to do with it. It's a combination of both. Matt Canada's play calling is stale. It's ordinary. It's not different. It's the same thing we've been seeing. Opposing defenses are all up on it. I was told Matt Canada wanted a mobile quarterback. Well, he's got one. Nothing's changed. This guy is asked questions today about the lack of offense, the lack of pushing down the field. George Pickens saying that he's open 90% of the time, and all he does is laugh and dance around it. That's your coordinator? That's who you're keeping employed? I saw a report today that people within the organization aren't happy with Canada right now. Really? So do something about it. I swear to God, man, if we get the same thing Thursday night, which I'm sure we will, it's at a point where I honestly want them to lose and fail, just so that there's change. Like, I'm really at that point, which is sad for me to say because I want them to win every game. When is enough enough? When is a change going to be made? It's unbelievable. I don't know what Matt Canada expects, man. I really, really don't. When you go back and watch film, when you go back and rewatch the game, when you watch certain things that are stuck out, you look at certain things that are designed to happen, and it's like, what in the fuck are we doing? Excuse my French there, folks, but I have every right to say that right now. Yeah, a 3rd and 8, and let's design it to throw a little 2-yard dump off to Najee Harris that gets nothing. Yeah, okay. Let's not design any play calls to push the ball down the field. Let's keep designing play calls when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, throwing short of the sticks when you need 6 more yards to go. Let's keep designing play calls where we're not utilizing Chase Claypool or George Pickens, two guys that can get their asses down the field, and not utilize them. Yeah, okay. Enough's enough, man. Enough is enough. I think every Steeler fan at this point has seen enough. This is the same shit we've been seeing the last 3 years. Nothing's changed. Nothing's going to change until further notice. Mitch Trubisky's getting another opportunity in Cleveland. Okay. The only thing we can hope for at this point is Matt Canada seeing the dissatisfaction from the receivers, the dissatisfaction from Mitch Trubisky, the dissatisfaction from Mike Tomlin, and do something about it. Will it change? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. There's a reason now not one college program wanted to employ him, yet the Steelers bring him on as a quarterback coach. Okay. And then they promote him to offensive coordinator. Okay. And they stick with him this season. Okay. I don't understand when everybody else is seeing this. The fans, the analysts, the players. But for whatever reason, Matt Canada does not. For whatever reason, Mike Tomlin is just letting it happen. There's no doubt in my mind Tomlin's not satisfied with the offense. There's no doubt about that, but he's letting it happen. Do something about it, Michael. For the love of God, do something. You're wasting careers. You have a guy in Deontay Johnson approaching a top 10 type wide receiver. Chase Claypool is a guy who's got the tools to be a stud in this league. George Pickens, your second round pick, had a great preseason, a great camp. You haven't done shit with him. Freiermuth, a good red zone target. Najee Harris, he's not 100% healthy, and he has his issues too where he's not seeing the field that great right now. But still, utilize him. You have a defense, yeah, without TJ Watt, but they only gave up 10 points on Sunday. I'm not counting the Gunnar Olszewski drop punt return. That's not on the defense. And you could only score 14 points against a New England team that isn't of anything. Enough's enough, man. Enough's enough. If they lose to Cleveland, or if they beat Cleveland, let's say by 3 points, and the offense isn't doing anything, it's going to get really, really ugly. But it's time for a change. It's time for a change. Get Canada out of town. Trubisky, see you later. See you later. The future's now. And he's waiting and he's ready. The Trubisky experiment needs to be over. It's not all on him. It's not all of his fault. But the fact that this guy is missing wide open receivers, the fact that this guy's too scared to turn over the ball and not making plays, Bill Cowher said it great. He's too worried about not making mistakes than he is about making plays. Make some plays, Mitch. You're getting paid millions of dollars to do it. Enough's enough, folks. Enough is enough of this shit. Something's got to change and fast. It's not Canada's fault that Trubisky's whiffing on guys, throwing off his back foot, and not reading the field. It is Canada's fault with their designs, with the lack of utilization of players to the best of their ability, putting out a bland product, not calling enough plays, in crucial situations, not doing anything to get the ball past the chains. It's a mixture all around, folks. It's a mixture all around, but I'm ending it there. I'm going to export this right now. 10, 13-minute video, 14, 15-minute video. Enough's enough, folks. Enough's enough. And I think mostly everybody is on board. It's time for a change for this offense. Will we get it? Probably not. Probably not. And it's a freaking shame, man. This team right now has a load of talent. And it's a damn shame. And I don't want to hear anything about the offensive line. The offensive line has been giving Trubisky time. The offensive line has been protecting him. Sure, can do better in the run blocking game, but Najee Harris is having some problems seeing holes. So that's on him. Change needs to happen. Change needs to happen fast. We'll see if it does. I will be back tonight at 10:30, not on my channel. You guys can check out Mark's channel. Mark over at Steeler Nation Australia. You can check out his channel. Him, Daniel J. of State of the Steelers here on YouTube as well, and myself. We are starting, and here goes the camera again. We are starting our own podcast together called the Unofficial Steelers Podcast. which is going to take place Tuesday nights at 8, but this week we have to move it to 10:30 tonight, and also Saturday mornings at 10 or 11. I forget what the time is, but it's just going to be flip-flopping on channels. So Mark's channel today will be my channel Saturday, Daniel's channel next Tuesday, Mark's channel next Saturday. You guys get the point. Their channels are in the link, the description below. Give them a follow. They're very knowledgeable with their Steeler content, man. Two guys that know what they're talking about, so you guys want to give them a follow as well. But I appreciate your guys' support. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. I appreciate your support. I want to implement all my followers as much as possible into the show eventually, which would be phenomenal. But we will be back in terms of my own content. We will probably be back on Friday talking about the Thursday night game. So you guys are going to want to check that out as well, but give them a follow as well for their content and also for our new podcast coming up, which is exciting. So we will see you guys later tonight, hopefully at 10:30, and then I will be back here on my channel this upcoming Friday. We will see you guys later. Take care, and have yourself a good rest of your week.